Hello, my friends. Today I will be filming another ramble from the car. I hope the background noise isn't too overpowering or too distracting. But anyways, I want to talk about why social justice warriors, why hardcore Marxist, postmodernist leftists are so miserable all the time. On average, these people are absolutely miserable. And I realized this, or this thought I've thought about this before, but I realized this last night when I was watching like a music video that this group of hardcore social justice warrior looking types, like the chicks were ugly as can be, and they like looked like they wanted to be men, and the dudes were just very weak looking, and they were singing a song called Gender Binary Scares the Hell Out of Me. And the lyrics were garbage. The song it was like the simple like 3-chord song. Their singing sucked, voices sucked, and they would like switch back and forth between the guys singing a line, and then the girls sing a line, and the guys sing a line. And it was very, like, you could tell a lot of thought went in to making this as politically correct and as orthodox as they possibly could. They wanted to hit every single aspect of their ideology and like get it all into one song, and so it just sounded like garbage. It didn't even sound like a song. It was like a parody, but they were serious about it. And the point that I'm making with this story is that I think there's so much that limits, there's so much self-policing going on in the heads of these leftist ideologues that they're unable to express themselves in a genuine and spontaneous way. Every single thought that goes into their heads has to be checked and altered and made to fit the strict dogmas of their ideology. They cannot think spontaneously. There's no room for spontaneity because their ideology is divorced from reality. And these ideas like everybody's equal, there's no difference between men and women, there's no difference between the races, etc., etc. Reality shows that there are. And so you're going to encounter thoughts that occur to you that reflect that, because we naturally want to reflect reality. And it takes a whole hell of a lot of self-policing and hyper-vigilance of your own thoughts and actions in order to keep up this facade that they have going. And because of that, they produce shitty art. They cannot produce art. And this is another point that I wanted to make, is that I think great art, if you look at a culture and you see that they've produced great art, then you can infer almost definitely that they were happy people. A depressed person cannot produce great art because of the reasons that I'm just talking about. Or an oppressed person, a tyrannized person who has pathological tendencies, or even a pathological personality as a whole, they cannot produce great art because there's too much mediation between the instincts and action. There's too much mediation. When you have to filter your thoughts and actions so rigorously to the point where you question every instinct and you're critical of every instinct, then you're not going to be able to produce great art that's moving, art that's aesthetically pleasing, that's beautiful. You just can't produce it, because that sort of work takes it takes a certain level of spontaneity and a certain level of comfort with life in your own skin. And the social justice warriors lack that completely. So when we look at cultures like the ancient Greeks and Romans, or Renaissance Europe, or the poems of the Norse mythology, or the poems of the Greek mythology, and whatnot, these beautiful works of art, that reflects a sense of comfort and disposition to life. Like, being well disposed to life produces great art, because you can spontaneously act. You don't have to filter all your thoughts. You can act on instinct. So, I mean, it's almost certain that the people were happier in general during, like, the Renaissance than they are today. Because you look at the art that's made today, it's almost all formulaic trash. The most popular music, I think, among the social justice types are like gangster rap music, electronic dance music, and just pop music in general. Most of which can't be considered great, deep, expressive, and beautiful works of art. They're just ways of distracting themselves and ways of forgetting themselves. I mean, self-forgetfulness is big. It's the one escape for a dying culture. It's art that creates self-forgetfulness, like EDM music, which just puts you into a trance almost, and can't think very well when you're in an electronic dance club show. You just can't. So that's like a relief for them. It's a medicine for them. It's something to escape. And there's nothing wrong with escape per se. Like, Tolkien wrote about how Lord of the Rings and his fantasy was meant to be an escape, but an escape into something better, not an escape into nothingness. It's an escape to something, not an escape just from the prison that you're in. But so what's my whole point here? I mean, my point is social justice warriors are not going to produce great art because it's entirely artificially based. It's entirely based on something that they have willed themselves into, and it's based on fear and insecurities, to the point where the only time that they'll express themselves is if they're sure their expression is consistent with the paradigm they're working in, the leftist ideology that they're working in. And that's why they're so opposed to free speech, or why they're so willing to support attacks on free speech, because they self-censor every day. I mean, buying into this ideology makes you a liar. You have to lie about obvious differences that are real. And once you get into the habit of lying and filtering all your thoughts to fit the lie, you're going to be an anxious person. Anxiety is going to be a constant for you because, like I said, your thoughts are meant to reflect reality, and the reality is opposed to the egalitarian perspective, the egalitarian ideology. I mean, because if you really take the egalitarian ideology to its furthest consistent extent, to its logical conclusion, what you're left with is that everyone is equal, and that your children, and this is the best example that I can do, is your children are not as important as, like, African children thousands of miles away. There's no reason to favor your children over others. Especially, to quickly reference Tara McCarthy's conversation with Gabriel Lucas on the Reality Call show, Gabriel Lucas was like, I'm all about meritocracy. I only give respect and admiration to people who have earned it, who deserve it. But is he saying that, like, if his kid is not as good at soccer as the best kid on the team, then he's going to give more praise to the best kid on the team than his own child? I don't think so. So there's always a rejection of egalitarianism in the real world, in our personal lives, and that's why social justice warriors are always anxious, and that's why they'll never create good art. Thanks for watching.